Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. We got moved over to the last organic field 2 nights ago. Got the head put on. I went buzzing around the field, opening it up, and I kept getting out and checking. I said, man, we've got corn on the ground. What the heck's going on? Like, we had the lengthwise corn split in half with a lot of kernels on it. So I, made some adjustments, went out and run another little test, and look, yeah, again, but not quite the same. I made some more adjustments. Still shitting out corn. This time, it would have small little pieces of cob with kernels on it. Man, what the heck's going on? We've got really hard cob, really good, normal hard cob, and we've got really spongy cob. And fuck, maybe I'm just having trouble with the soft rubbery cob. Well, I made some more adjustments and got it pretty clean, I thought. And then, we're looking around, and God damn, I've still got whole cob with ears, with kernels on them. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Looking up in the combine, and they're laying right across the top of the sieve with a whole ear and, the split ear and kernels. And I thought, well, that's fucking weird. They shouldn't be sitting in there like that. Did some more checking and called a buddy of mine and telling him what's going on. And he says, man, check this and try that, adjust this. And I thought, yeah, man, I'm doing that. I've done that. I don't know what the heck's going on. Finally, he came up. We looked. I ran a little bit more and made some adjustments, and he looked some more. He says, man, it's almost like you got a hole in one of your concaves or something. So we got to looking in there. Well, we couldn't see any holes in the concaves. We went around over there to the right side where the concave, has got that pivot point. See, the concaves are basically, they're kind of like a half moon that goes around the cylinder or the rotor. The rotor spins in there, kind of like a great big axle shaft with a bunch of nubs sticking out on it. And as it spins, those nubs are in a spiral configuration, kind of similar to a screw. This is an older version, so it's got the big long paddles on it. And anyway, when you get into different kinds of crops, sometimes you need to make that thrashing area tighter or smaller clearances. And those concaves are basically a great big, like a half moon piece of metal, kind of like, imagine your hand being in there, and one side will move, the other side pivots, kind of like my fingertips. It pivots over there. So we got to looking, and I thought, man, I don't know. I don't know how to adjust this shit. I don't know where this stuff's at. And he's looking and showing me. I'm like, oh, look at that, dude. We've got, so over there on the hinge spot, it's down like fucking that far, like 4 inches gap. I'm like, dude, holy shit, there's actually a big old gap in here. He says, well, that's probably where your corn's coming from, because that's a big gap. Well, the big bars in there that support the right side of the concaves, which they call that the pinch point, the hinge area, the pinch point, my big bars that support that were bent. So, Tracy, how the fuck did that happen? He says, well, you run a rock through there or something? I said, well, it hasn't been this year. We hadn't run any rocks. The big eye bolts that go around that pipe were broken, were stretching open. So evidently it was broke, a long time ago, and it's just slowly progressed, getting worse and worse and worse, running that tough corn and the really chewy fucking soybeans. So it just stressed it, made it worse and worse, and we finally noticed it. So anyway, we made a trip up to Colfax. Shout out to my buddy Aaron up there. Really nice guys. We've done we bought a lot of stuff from Colfax before, Colfax tractor parts. And this time we went up there and I told them what I needed. I needed one concave. That the one of mine had been hit by the rock. We're going to replace that one. And I needed the two big bars that support that. So we went up and we found a pretty good set. And they've got, tons of combine parts, tractor parts, you name it, they've probably got it. They don't do a lot with implements, but man, if it's got an engine in it, then they're probably gonna have parts for it. So anyway, shout out to them guys for getting me a good concave and a couple pretty decent bars. They're not perfect, but they're a hell of a lot better than what we had in here. So here's where we left off. This was what I thought was one of the better fields down on this farm. It's kind of a nice little 10-acre bottom. Again, this farm was one that we used offset discs on rather than the plows, and I wasn't real happy with how the alfalfa killed out. And I think that shows in the shorter corn, you know, short in height. And the ears are kind of all over the place. We've had really funky water this year with water stress in the middle of June, 1st of July, and therefore the ears are definitely showing it. Anyway, let's hammer away here and see what we can do. I'm gonna have to climb out several times here, make sure we got the combine readjusted, because we did have all that stuff apart back in there. Okay, first inspection. We've got, these are pretty good hard cobs, so I'm not gonna get concerned about those. There's one of the rubbery soft ones. It's just super flexible. Let's see what else we got. There's one, and we got some flexible shit. She's split in half. So let's see if we can't slow that rotor speed back down, because I did have it sped up pretty hard, pretty fast. Let's go see if we can't slow that puppy down and get rid of that splitting. When we get into that rubbery cob, we're gonna have problems again. I don't see any big pieces of ear with corn on them, so that's definitely a plus. Let's have a look up in here. Oh, yep, right there. So we're still getting some cob breakage. So we're gonna have to get rid of that now. I don't see any big ears sitting up there. Right up there where they were sitting, coming out this side. We still got a little tiny bit, but nothing serious. Let's see if we can't get rid of that busted cob. Okay, so I'm getting down to about as close as I'm gonna get it. Because, I mean, if you look at that cob, I don't know how you're gonna get that to thrash. It's just so freaking rubbery. So we are gonna be spilling a little bit of corn out the back, but it's not huge whole half pieces of cob. The hard cob, they're not having any trouble. The small ones even, I mean, it's pooping them out. I mean, that's a pretty small fucking cob. But all because of water stress related issues, and a lot of that shit's getting up in the tank because I've got the tailing sieve here part opened up enough to try and catch a lot of that. That one's not gonna make it, but yeah, so I don't know much more I can do with that. Looking out the back here, it really doesn't look, so you've got that. So yeah, we're still losing some corn, but look how fucking rubbery that is. I mean, I don't know what to do with that. I've got a pretty substantial amount of cob in the tank because I'm trying to catch it and re-thrash it, but I mean, that one's soft and rubbery, but mostly clean, so what the hell? I mean, that's not too terrible. And there's not really any, you know, kernels on the ground. Those two could be from head loss. A couple there, a couple over there from head loss. So the corn's just too fucking dry and they're too fucking rubbery. So I don't know. I feel like that's probably about as close as I'm gonna get. Don't need that fucker getting caught up on the fire. Yeah, you can see how short the freaking corn is. So yeah, there's what we're getting in the tank. We've got plenty of cob, and that's all that rubbery shit. Trying to just get it off of trying to get the dang kernels off of there. It's just not working good. Well, anyway, I guess better than it was. Yeah, fuck. Okay, now just unhook the head because all the gates down here are freaking small. We can't get through them. And I'm cleaning up the little corn mass between the head and the throat that she puked out on the ground because it's got a lot of ears right there. But I wanted to show you this one. Look at that. So it was just sitting here and it hadn't gathered it up yet, but look, I mean, look at how, that's what I'm fighting on this field, and that's why I'm having such a hard hard time getting it all thrashed because it's so freaking spongy. But we've got it very trimmed down to where we've only got tiny little bits of cob coming out the back. This is just because it was sitting here when we unhooked the head. It just pooped it out on the ground. So that's not like it's a big deal. Anyway, we gotta go right over there, across the road, across the ditch rather, the creek. And the gate over there is like 17 foot, 18 foot. It just barely fit the planter, so I know it's not gonna fit this head. So I'm gonna run this over there real quick. Probably gonna back it in. I don't know. Oh, there's a nice tractor. Magnum and the, oh yeah. Yep, that'd be the dream. Black smoke, bruh. Anyway, we gotta back into that gateway and drive the combine over there and hook up. Thumbins. That's kind of cool. Working on the last road now on this pass, on this side. And I wanted to catch this. I'm not sure where she went, but I've been chasing, there she is, right there. I've been chasing pheasants out of here. And guys, we don't have a lot of pheasants down here in southern Iowa. There she is, running right up that row, right there. So that's kind of a rarity to see pheasants down here in southern Iowa where we farm. That's just, it's not very common. So that's, I'm glad, because I like pheasants. But we chased a rooster out down in this corner, and then just this last pass, before I turned around, there was probably 2 more roosters and 4 other hens. So that's cool. That really makes me happy. We got rabbits like crazy. You can see that one running down there. But pheasants, that's woo, look at her jumping up in the air. Maybe there's a couple of them in there. There she went. Okay, now we can hunt pheasants in southern Iowa. You can shoot the roosters, but not the hens. But it's kind of been my philosophy, since we don't have very many pheasants down here, that we just don't shoot pheasants at all. And I don't want anybody shooting pheasants on any of our ground. Sorry, Tom, if you're watching this. But we can't hunt here anyway. This is a crop share farm, so. Anyway, we finally got this little piece done, so I'm going to take the head back off. Mrs. is still here, so we'll run the combine in the head to the next little piece. And I'll come up, grab the tractor, and take it to the next little piece. And then I'll let her go home with the pickup, and I'll take the semi up to the bin, because it's clear full. Okay. Just checked all the tires, had to blow one up on the tractor. Semi-tractor at least. Now we're ready to rip. And I'm running around the last piece. Kind of the same story. In fact, I'd say this hill has got probably some of the shortest corn on it. But it's consistent. It's consistently short throughout the whole field. And you can see that ear side down there. I think that's what the majority of them are. I've seen bigger and I've seen smaller, but that's probably the average, you know. We get a little farther through this, you know, another passenger around, and we'll go back up with the drone again. Gonna let old Haven here do the aerial photography for us for today. Him and DJ and his old lady came down. We were just I don't know, got off early from work and decided they want to come down, make sure we get harvest done. We do have I don't know, was it like an 80% chance of rain coming through? Yeah. And it's supposed to get cold tonight too, so I don't think we're going to get much for rain, but it's going to get nasty. It'd be nice if we can at least get done with harvest. I just witnessed something that I thought was kind of funny. Check this out, guys. How many people can you fit in a 9150? It looks like 3, right? But wait, there's more. Yeah, one over on the other side. What a bunch of goofballs. Okay, I'm gonna run this load of corn up, and the boys are gonna finish combining it for us. There's like a hopper and a half left out there. Anyway, Clayton and I are gonna go up and dump the corn. Then we'll come back down and everything should be started moved. These guys know what they're doing. Anyway, there goes another semi ahead of us. All right, let's get ripping. There she goes, dumping the last bit. About 3 combine hoppers on there is what the boys said, so here's what it is. That farm didn't yield as good as my other 2 farms. So if anybody's wondering why, we got that other bin over there, and we have this one. We didn't fill that one. Why do we switch to this one? Because this farm is crop shared, so I put all of his crop off of that farm into one bin, and then when we go to sell it, we'll take that whole bin, ship it out, and we'll just divide whatever it is, whatever it has for bushels, in half, rather than try to guess how much, you know, has come off of it or whatever. It's all by itself. That whole farm's in the one bin, so that's why that's like that. Anyway, so the boys are all convoying, driving the combine and tractor head and the pickups. They're all convoying that stuff home, which is pretty handy for me. So they're gonna get that stuff put in the machine shed and whatever for tonight. We've got a pretty strong chance of rain coming overnight, and it's supposed to get cold down into the 20s. Oh boy, so yeah, I'm glad we're done. And that's why the wind was blowing so freaking bad today too. See, across the road, same guy owns these bins that I'm using as those bins over there, but he's rented them out to somebody else. He's got really big bins on that side. I'm trying to think, there's like 75,000 bushel storage over there. I don't need that, but these little ones over here, plenty big enough for me. Anyway, I imagine this video is getting pretty lengthy, guys. We got to get this put together and get stuff cleaned up, put in the shed, maybe do a little fall tillage and see what we got coming. Anyway, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, give me a good thumbs up, like and share, please. For you that are just checking out the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the share button, tell your friends about, you know, tell everybody about organic channel, about what we do over here, kind of have a little fun preparing stuff. Anyway, without further ado, thank you guys for coming along. Until next time, catch you later.